What's good, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Full Circle. I'm your host, as always, Harmon Jr. Please feel free to find me at Harmon Jr. on all your favorite social media websites. So, people, I am going on vacation tomorrow as recording. I'm taking my mom out for her 50th birthday. And in case, well, no, she will be on the plane or something by the time this. So she's turning 50. Disney World's having their 50th anniversary, so that's where I'm going. She doesn't know, full surprise. So she's always wanted to go. She's never been, so that should be fun. And I wasn't gonna do a show this week because I gotta pack. Because I'm one of those people that doesn't pack until you have no choice but to pack. But news happened. I woke up today, news happened, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do a show. More news happened, and I was like, I gotta hit up my boy Frank. We got a lot of Sony going on, and we haven't had, Frank, this might be genuinely the first just big Sony stories. All the other Sony stories have been blasé. What is Sony gonna do in response to this? What is Sony risky? It's been just evergreen stuff, but nope, not this show. We got definitive things to talk about, Frank. But before we get into all that, just in case the people don't know, which they should at this point, who are you and what do you do?
Well, thank you, Odell. What's up, everybody? My name is Francisco Aguilar, based out of Houston, Texas. So I am a games tech and content creation tech reviewer on YouTube, youtube.com/GNRFrank. And I'm back on my streaming hinge here on twitch.tv/GNR_Frank. I'm just a guy who enjoys video games and talking about them and playing them and reviewing things to help people make informed purchases so you don't go out there wasting your money buying all the expensive stuff you think you should have, but buying it the cheaper stuff can actually do just as good.
Hashtag balling on a budget.
There you go. Dude, you didn't tell me that this thing for your mom was a surprise. That is incredible.
Yeah, she does not know we're going. And my mom's my mom's, I'm gonna put this nice. She's a bad guesser.
Perfect.
Like I'm just assuming she has like a super imagination. So she's been texting me all week. Will I need this? No. Should I do this? No. She's like, I just bought a new bottle of lotion. I'm like, I feel like lotion is just kind of,
you need that anywhere.
Yeah, like I don't know. She's thinking like we're going to a cold climate. She's gonna, but I was just like, and she was like, do I need to bring extra eating money? And I'm like, regular amounts of eating money. I feel like you can eat more or less wherever you go.
Yes, it's super expensive, Disney, but yes, absolutely, dude. Please record a reaction. Please, everyone loves wholesome content, dude. That would be so great.
I don't even know. So I mean, clearly, when we get on the plane, she's gonna be aware we're going to Orlando.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, my mom, bless her heart, like when she gets excited or extreme emotion, logic goes out the window. So like, I'm pretty sure she would be the type of person to be like, "Are we going to SeaWorld?" And I'll be like, "Yes, Mom. We are going across the country to go to SeaWorld."
You should totally lie to her. Be like, "Yeah, we're going to Busch Gardens or Universal Studios. That's where we're going."
Wait, is Busch Gardens in Orlando?
It's in Tampa. It's very close to Orlando. It's about a 2 or 3 hour drive, maybe. Like really, really close.
Yeah, no, my plan is like I'm gonna tell her we're going to Universal Studios, which I'm pretty sure she'll be excited anyway. And then we're just gonna show up at Disney, and I'll be like, "No, we're going to Universal Studios." Nothing against Universal Studios, cool place.
It's great.
They got
Have you been? Have you been to Disney?
Yes, I've been to Disney in the Florida. Yes,
I've been to both of them, dude, and the Florida one is the king. It's incredible.
Yeah, ironically, Mickey Mouse is her favorite character.
Okay, yeah. So she likes Kingdom Hearts. Is what you're saying?
I wish. I feel like if I did like a Let's Play of Kingdom Hearts with my mom, she would be so confused. She would just like, my mom's not like, well, she doesn't have a grandchild yet, but I feel like she would be like Instagram. She'd be like, "Why is Donald and Goofy there? Why are they doing magic? Why Mickey's a king? What's this key thing? Why does it just come out of nowhere? Listen to who?"
She could be just as confused as everybody else, dude.
And she was
perfect.
I'm going like, "Look, Mom, Roxasaurus is nobody. He was created when he lost his heart. And the evil organization 13 of 13 nobodies is going to use a wish to take his essence. and make him a real boy. Like Pinocchio. No, not like Pinocchio, but the theory is the same.
I think that's excellent. I think you should actually do that. I want to see how that plays out, dude.
I'm gonna confuse myself. But people,
I'm
what's up?
no, I live confused. So
Oh,
welcome to the club.
I feel that. Yeah, so people, so yeah, happy birthday to my mom. It's April 1st. Yes, April Fool's Day is her birthday, so that's fun. I'm sure that was fun growing up, but
That's
video
incredible.
games.
This just gets better. Her
Yeah.
birthday's on April Fools.
Yeah,
That's
that's why
awesome.
we're leaving. So we're gonna go to. I'm sorry, people. New segment. My mom's birthday plan trips. So we're gonna on Wednesday we're gonna land and we're gonna go to Disney Springs. Downtown Disney. We're gonna go around there, look at all the shops and whatnot. Probably get something to eat. I'm feeling she's probably not packed right for the trip because I didn't tell her. So I figured maybe we'll go to like a Ross or something, or I don't know, a non Disney store where have to spend $80 on a shirt, so she can get proper attire. And then on Thursday we're gonna go to Hollywood Studios and that'll be fun.
Oh, nice.
Shows are back, so I guess watch shows, ride some rides, all that good stuff. And then on Friday, April 1st, her actual birthday will be at Magic Kingdom.
That's awesome. She's gonna have a blast. I'm happy for her.
I'm just gonna do the whatever you want to do, except the Hollywood Tower of Terror. I don't know. I hate free falling rides.
It's my favorite ride. It's so good.
I mean, she wants to.
Your life is not in your control for like a split second.
I rode the dungeon drop and people who don't know that's it's one of those rides where you're on a tower, you go up and they do something like they go like 5-4 and they press the fall button and you fall like I don't know like 20 stories in like a span of half a second. I can't just you can't even scream on those.
It happens too fast.
Yeah, but that's that. So anyway, this week, people, we're gonna be talking about Nintendo, more specifically Breath of the Wild 2, whatever that game's going to be called. And it's got delayed, but more on that later, which probably is hinting at Switch 2. But before that, we're going to be talking about PlayStation, the star of this episode. They have unveiled their... I don't even want to call it a Game Pass competitor because I don't think it is. I mean, it is, but based off what I saw, I'm like, I don't know what this is. They finally announced the PlayStation Plus upgrade, subscription, gold, genie, whatever you want to call it. But before all that, I got Frank, this is as much as a topic as like a TED Talk. No, it's an intervention. This first topic is the intervention. And we're going to be talking about Grand Theft Auto Online Plus subscriptions. And real quick, people, in case you don't know, Grand Theft Auto Online, GTA Online has been, around since Grand Theft Auto 5 released, way back on the PlayStation 3. I know, that's insane, right? And all the way from the PS4, and if you put your PS4 version PS5, you can play GTA Online. But GTA Online now has a plus added to service, which is basically $6 a month. You get some money every month. You get, unlocks exclusive missions, cars, penthouses, things of that nature. But it is only available for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S versions, which means you cannot acquire this on the PS3 copy, on the PS4 copy, on any old hardware. So yes, you need to buy the game for a second, third, dear God forbid, fourth time if you haven't already, on top of your $69.99 or what have you, Xbox Live, PlayStation Plus service, or I don't know, maybe if it's no, it's not on the PC version. At least not according to what they said. So you can't escape that. So gotta buy the game again for $70 on top of your $70 yearly subscription. Now $6 a month, which I don't know, Frank. What's 6 times 12?
72.
Another $72. That's more expensive than the online subscription for the. Oh my God.
Yep.
All right, Frank. Just from I know you're a consumer savvy guy. You understand how supply and demand works. Oh, is this a smart move by Rockstar? You know what? I'm just gonna get my shirt and say yes, because if you convince people to rebuy the same game 4 freaking times, why not? Why not?
Yep. Yeah. So actually, I do think it's a smart. Okay, I don't want to use the word smart, but it is an interesting move on their part because $10 to buy the new versions for the new gen consoles is not a lot of money. But again, you're buying this iteration for like the what, second, third, fourth time. You're probably going to be less prone to wanting to buy it. But now there's a new subscription that I can only get on PlayStation. I'm so entrenched in GTA Online that like all my friends are moving over there for $10 and it's just $6 a month. And people don't usually think in long terms in regard to how much you're spending on subscriptions. For $6 a month, I get extra money. They'll have promotions with PlayStation Plus where like you spend money on shark cards, you'll get an extra percentage boost of cash that you get for it. Like this is to me seems more not as like a reward. It's definitely not a reward for people buying it, but I think it's more to like entice people to buy the new gen versions of the console. Sorry, the new gen versions of the game because it's like a little extra something for them to spend more money on. I tried getting to GTA Online, dude. It's just too much for me. Like, and I tried at the beginning. I couldn't deal with all the hacking. Then I tried like a year later. No, I can't do it. And it's great. Like, there's a lot of awesome content in there, but to come back and have to catch up and try to understand what's going on, and all these people that are buying their way to the tops of the game, it's really difficult to do that. But from Rockstar's perspective, I mean, dude, they just know that it's a cash cow. People will spend the $6 a month because very few people are gonna look at this and think, oh, this is $72 in a year. And for those that do happen to look at it that way, are probably gonna think that's just the price of one game. There's probably nothing I really want to buy coming out from here to the holiday season. So yeah, sure, I can spend $72 right now and call it a day. And I'm gonna get a car and a penthouse and a car shop and 500,000 shark cards or whatever. Um, I mean, hey, if it works for them, kudos to them. Whoever came up with the idea and if it works out, which it most likely will, great job. I hope you got a raise. And for anybody having an issue with this, myself included, I'm sorry to say this, Odell, we are to blame. It is our fault that this is happening.
I mean, most definitely, because the thing that gets me about Grand Theft Auto 5, it's not that, okay, because, I mean, yeah, we all did it. If they came out with Jack and Daxter Super HD Remake Deluxe, I'm buying it. No questions asked. I bought Crash Bandicoot. No questions asked. Spyro got no love for me. I'm sorry, because Spyro 1's the only good game. Those other two games are kind of trash.
Yeah, I mean, I played the Pizza Hut demo of Spyro, so that's about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so like I get this. So I'm not really downing people for being like, oh, GTA PlayStation 4 better graphics, loading time. Well, especially not for GTA 5, because GTA 5 on PS5 and Series X, because GTA is probably one of the few games in modern memory that still has like 1990s loading time. Like, I can go make me a literal sandwich and still be good.
Did you buy the upgrade? I'm sorry.
I beat it on the original PS3. I bought a PS4 copy, but then my uncle never had the game, and I was like, well, technically I already played it. And I started thinking about it. I was like, I'm probably not gonna play through the entire game again. So like, that just became like his Christmas present because I still had it unopened.
That's genius. That's the best kind of gift. It's like, oh, sweet. No, I bought the upgrade. I mean, for $10, like whatever. It's a good game. Lamar Davis is one of the best characters of all gaming, as far as like writing goes. Dude, he is the funniest character in him and Trevor. But Trevor's just crazy. Lamar is genuinely hilarious. But the load times, oh my God, dude. You can't make a sandwich on the PS5, but you can definitely make a sandwich, like you said, on PS4, PS3. Even on PC, it is just like, Jesus Christ, it's so long. It is noticeably shorter, dude.
Yeah, and it going back to what I was saying, how does that game continually be in the best-selling charts? Because I'm like, you only need to buy the game once. Who are these new people?
Kids.
Is it?
Gotta be. Like, like think about it. Even when I grew, like even myself growing up, like I started out with GTA 2, top down, pixelated GTA 2. And every time as I got older and older, I always would buy, like I was late to the GTA party. GTA 4 was the first Grand Theft Auto I ever purchased like on release because I was old enough to buy it on my own. But like Grand Theft Auto 5, not just because of its campaign mode, but because of its online presence now is like an iconic game. And that's just my opinion, of course, but like people, it's still relevant. Like Skyrim, we laugh at Skyrim for coming out so many times. Of course, it did a lot to kind of push RPGs in a certain direction, but Grand Theft Auto is still super relevant in terms of like its online experience, and not to mention like the story itself, like writing wise, story wise, like it's really it still holds strong, very 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 much so. And when you said that it came out on a PS3, that took me way back, dude, because I was just starting out as a GameStop store manager when that game came out. I'm like, oh my god, I have graduated college, gotten married, gotten several career jobs, and had two girls, two babies since Grand Theft Auto 5 originally came out. That's insane.
That is insane, and it's still coming out.
And it's still coming out. Maybe they'll put it on a toaster next. Maybe that'll be the new joke.
Yeah, and like you said, from monetary, like if clearly people are buying, I really think people had to have two copies on like the PS4 or something, because unless people were turning 17 and 13, well, no, kids nowadays have access to these games. Their parents don't care. They care, y'all care, but you know what I'm saying.
We live in a slightly, like, for lack of a better term, we live in a slightly freer world in regards to that kind of thing, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't feel like it's as scrutinized anymore.
yeah.
And
So
besides, now you can just circumvent it with online purchases anyway.
I mean, yeah, people are gonna spend it, and you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, if you don't want to. So let's say I want to experience GTA Online. The reason I tried to get in GTA Online when it first came out, but like it was the wild wild west. It was basically like you spawn in, someone's already running you over, getting gunned down, and it's like, bro, it's just nonsense. And then
Yeah.
I tried again at some point in time. I can't tell you when, but now it's like, okay, it was more grounded. It had rules. It had things, but it was like, now I'm kind of too late. Now people have leveled up some funds, and now it's like, well, I can't really get anything going because I'm not strong enough. And that problem probably still persists. So now it's like, okay, the hardcore players, like I said, they're gonna spend the $6, like you said. What else am I gonna be playing? And now me as I want to get in. If I don't spend the $6 a month, there's probably no way. Because the $6 at least gives me a way to, passively get the resources I need to get good.
You're 1000% spot on. And now that you say that, I do believe more now that this is meant for people that are trying to get into GTA Online, that have been intimidated by the fact that other players have been in it for a while and have leveled up massively, gotten all this money, all this gear, all these locations and cars, etc. Now it makes it a little bit more accessible for them, if you will.
Yeah.
Good point. Excellent point. You're absolutely right, dude.
All right. But, I'm going to segue this into our next topic. But now imagine you do all this GTA stuff, but now you got to spend, I don't know, what is PlayStation calling it? PlayStation Plus Plus, new PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Plus
PlayStation
Extra.
Plus squared.
Yeah,
Plus squared.
that
They
that would
have
that wouldn't be bad actually. I kind of like that.
I pitched them the idea. They just didn't listen to me. But maybe that's if they would follow me on Twitter, they would have excellent ideas. They got PlayStation Plus Essential, PlayStation Plus Extra, and PlayStation Plus Premium.
Mm, a little of that PPP.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. The show would have ended. Just ended.
You opened the door and I had to step through, man.
Yes, I was like, is Frank, is he gonna pick up what I'm putting down? And you did.
Amazing.
You know what? If Xbox did the Boys to Men, it's all there. We need a PlayStation. You down with PPP? Yes, we're giving you gold.
The first of the two to use Seal in their marketing will be the overall, like the winner, hands down. That's it. Until then, it's still anybody's game for the taking.
Okay. All right, Frank. I'm gonna give the floor to you. Can you explain to the people exactly what is PlayStation Plus becoming in this new 3-tier system?
Oh, buddy. All right. So that is exactly what it is. It's becoming a 3-tiered system. So basically, PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now are currently two individual services, and they are merging into one. So for the same price that you pay now for PlayStation Plus, you would get PlayStation Plus Essentials. You get 2 monthly downloadable games, exclusive discounts, cloud storage for save games, online multiplayer access. There is nothing changing to that service whatsoever. Now, this is kind of where, and for pricing, $9.99 a month, $24.99 quarterly, or $59.99 a year. Same exact copy pasta. Call it a day. PlayStation Plus Extra, all the benefits from Essentials, but it adds a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalog and third-party partners. Games in the extra tier are downloadable for play. Now, this one is $14.99 a month, $39.99 quarterly, or $99.99 a year. And finally, we do have the PlayStation Plus Premium tier. This is the top shelf creme de la creme tier, okay? So you get all the benefits from Essentials and Extra. It adds it adds up to 340 additional games, including PlayStation 3 games available via cloud streaming, a catalog of beloved classic games available in both streaming and download options from the original PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and PSP generations, offers cloud streaming access for original PlayStation, PS2, PSP, and PS4 games, offered in the extra and premium tiers and markets. There's a caveat here too, by the way. So like anywhere where cloud streaming is not available, where PlayStation Now is not currently available, customers can stream games using PS4 and PS5 consoles and PC. They have a whole separate tier for markets where they don't have streaming, and they're able to download the games. Some of them. I think it's like a slightly different library, right?
Mm.
Time limited game trials will also be offered in this tier so customers can try select games before they buy. This tier, all right, the top of the top is $17.99 a month, $49.99 quarterly, $119.99 a year.
Which that's just a hard sell. Regardless of how good a service is,
Uh,
over $100 a year is a hard sell.
Odell, I've got the ball. I'm driving on the court. I'm just going to go in. You ready?
All right, go
Story
do it.
time. It was a stormy, windy night in 1999. A young Francisco was flying back in from the motherland, moving back to the United States of America to arrive to a golden dawn of a new age. The very next morning, he goes to a store called Walmart or Wally World or something like that, and he buys a PlayStation 1 and a copy of Metal Gear Solid. And his life from that moment on was forever changed. From that moment on, he was a Sony fan till the end of the times. PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, there, always. This is the absolute worst thing that Sony could have done. Period. Like absolutely period. This is sad to see for me, and this is not going to apply to everybody. But man, the only thing I never expected them to do day and date releases. It's just not in their philosophy. It's not going to happen. They don't need to. It'd be nice if they did. It'd be great. I think that's one instance in where Microsoft's Game Pass excels is the day and date, first party releases. But PlayStation, I wasn't expecting out of that. Realistically, it was never going to happen. But them dying on their hill of streaming kills the entire thing. Have you tried any game streaming services like Amazon Luna or Google Stadia?
No. One, I am amazed that you know what Luna is because I've talked about Stadia extensively on the show and made fun of it. And every time when xCloud and everything was coming out, I always brought up Luna. And you were the first person that actually knew what it is without me explaining it. So I'm amazed. Also, I'm amazed that Luna's still around. Is it a thing? Amazon doesn't care. They have endless money. Apparently, Google does too. I'm surprised. Like, I saw a tweet that Stadia was getting some new games. I'm like, bro, who is playing on Stadia? 1,000
Like 10
people?
people. That's being generous, Odell. I think like 10 people
Oh,
right
okay.
now.
Yeah,
Listen, the difference between Amazon and Google is better at making decisions to kill off its mistakes faster. Amazon is not, right? Amazon, look, so for background story here,
yeah.
I
Oh,
have
real
a
quick, the
five.
answer to your question was no, obviously. But I just wanted to make that clear.
So I got invited to test out Amazon Luna, and I have a fiber internet connection. So my internet is like overkill for what I do, and it was an atrocious experience. Like it was absolutely bad. The sound was delayed, the input was delayed, the connection would drop, the image would blur and pixel out. It was just bad. And the other issue that I have with this, and I called it many, many, many months ago when they talked about unifying the services and adding in the retro library of games. I'm like, they're gonna put that stuff behind the highest priced tier, and sure as hell, that is what they did. And which is weird because in the middle tier, they've got PS5 games. They're going to be adding Returnal, both Spider-Man and Miles Morales. I would think that they would flip it and make those the most part of the more expensive tier. But no, they really don't want me to replay Metal Gear right now, if they even add it.
So, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing that upsets me about all of this. So, we all remember the PS2 era fondly because
Yeah, yeah.
you know, people will argue Nintendo had the quality, Sony had the quantity. There was just so much stuff to play and so much stuff, you can just get lost in, and we were all bound to find something that you just loved that was just for you. We had the
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evils, all these classic games that we love. And so when you think of something like this, especially with like Game Pass and stuff, what we're doing is we're not looking to play Halo 4. That's recent enough. If we wanted to play Halo 4, we have the cop. We'll pop in our Xbox. It works on the Series X. We're looking for the same thing with the Switch. Oh, I'm not really looking for Wii U games. I mean, I can acquire them. They basically release every Wii U game on the Switch anyway. I'm probably not looking for Wii games. What I am
Right.
looking for are GameCube, 64, Super Nintendo, Nintendo games. Either games that I don't have and never had access to, or it's just so old. Like, yeah, I got my Nintendo 64. I can plug it up right now. It works. Perfect working condition. But I got to go. Maybe my TV's a little too HD. I got to get, a new connector, something, order something from Amazon. Wait. Or, I just want to be able to be like, can I load up my Switch and it's on there? Cool. Yeah. So I would argue that for most people who will want this, you want games that are just have been out, PlayStation 1, PS2, PS3 era. PS4 games you could pop in your PS5. And you're like, but what if I want that? What if I'm new? Then you won't deem this service because you weren't there for those games. And if you have no interest in playing them now, then yeah. But then I go and look at the list of the 700 plus games on PS Now that's going to be added. And I'm thinking like, cool, Jack and Daxter. Oh, not on there. Strange. Okay. Original Metal
Mm-hmm.
Gear. Oh, not on there. Oh, okay. I think it's weird that like, oh, Metal Gear 5 and 4 are on there, but not like 1 and 2. Okay. No, I'm not lying, people. Like, hold on. I just got it. Not 1, 2, or 3. Oh, they have the HD collection. Okay. I was about to say. I was about to
Oh,
flip
yeah,
my
thank God.
table. I want to play Spyro. Not on there. Tomba, like my original PlayStation 1, like, just I want the memories to flood back in my head. Oh, not on there. Strangely enough, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are on there, which I feel weird playing that on PlayStation. I'm just not gonna lie. I don't know why Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 is on this list. Granted, I would damn near get it just for that. That's just me. But and I'm like, and then there's a whole bunch of PlayStation indie titles. Does PlayStation have a funny name for their indies? We have Nindies, we have the Xbox Arcade. I don't think PlayStation has like a cool indie title name for their indies, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but like, I
Um,
mean, this is what half the list is. Like, you have all the pixel junk games ever made, and like cool little PlayStation indie titles that like I forgot about. But like most of these things, I'm like, either A, you already can play now without any fuss, but like all the stuff I really want to play is just not there.
nope.
And I'm just
No.
like, how are you gonna justify me? And then like you said, you add in the fact that I gotta stream these games. I can't. I I don't know,
And I
man.
get it. And I get it. They bought Gaikai. Like I get it, right? You make an investment of that size, you have to use it. You have to do something with it. But like give the option, right? I think that's where the pricing I feel like the pricing could use some work, but whatever. I understand. People would pay for it. If they didn't do streaming and they did downloading instead, I would have no problem paying this price at a yearly rate, right? Or a yearly interval. But the other problem that I have with this is almost like an issue of principle. Now, I understand the technology changed between the PS1, 2, and 3 over to the 4 and 5, and that has made probably backwards compatibility difficult. I refuse to believe that in 2022 there is not a hardware solution that they can't implement for that. But instead, what they do is they put it behind a very highly priced service. And not only that, you underdeliver by making it only streamable in a world where the technology just isn't really there for it to be a great experience overall.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm containing my anger, dude. Like, and like, you know, I joke like I'm a Sony Pony, which I am to a degree, but like I'm, you know, there's so many things, dude. Xbox and Microsoft had done incredible things. Game Pass is incredible, but I want to make something super clear. A lot of times when I unfortunately browse Twitter and all the idiotic regurgitation that happens on there from both sets of fanboys and fangirls, one of the things that people talk about is like, oh my God, but the library is so huge and the library this and so many games and all that. Bro, ain't nobody playing all those games. It's not happening. So when I'm sitting here looking at this list of at these, you know, features of these programs, 400, a catalog of 400 plus games. It's great in terms of like you have options, but that's not a selling point. Me seeing that there's 400 games available on here made me feel like, I'm going to be spending money and I'm going to sit there just like on Netflix. I'm going to scroll for 30, 45 minutes deciding what to play when I could just be playing something instead. Now that's just maybe, that might be a me problem. Let's be real. Okay. But I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who sat on Netflix for like an hour trying to decide what to watch.
I mean, yeah. So I remember thinking, like, when I was trying to downplay Game Pass, I was like, oh, it's going to be that. But like you said, the day one releases are a real game changer. It's like, oh, cool. And the fact that Game Pass exists on multiple platforms, for example, I do not have a Series S or X. I played Halo on my PC. I played Tunic on my PC. I played Psychonauts 2 on my PC through Game Pass Ultimate. These are all games that are available day one. I didn't have to pay anything extra for. All games I was super interested in. And the thing about the backlog is consistently games that you generally probably want to play. You know,
100%.
And Xbox is smart because any game that's essential to Xbox is on Game Pass, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and when I say essential to Xbox, means it was a title that was either only exclusively for Xbox or was exclusively for Xbox for a long time, or one of those series that, like, I'm the type of person, if a series debuts on a certain console and like continues, like, I feel like that's just where it's meant to be.
It like defines that console, right? Because like for me, like I hate to bring Metal Gear. Like, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Every time you bring me on your show, I'm gonna talk Metal Gear into the conversation one way, shape, or form somehow.
Do it.
But like Metal Gear is that for Sony for me, right? Along with Final Fantasy, Resident Evil to some degree. I think because Resident Evil 4 came out on the GameCube and was there first, I think it's now more towards like the Nintendo side of things, at least back then. But I don't want to just sit here on the negative things because people are gonna be like, oh my God, Odell brings this guy. He thinks he's so cool. He thinks he sounds so cool, and he's always so negative. And so like I don't want to be negative Nancy. One of the cool things about this is that through the streaming, people will be able to access games on PC that they otherwise couldn't access unless they had a current PlayStation console. So that's pretty cool. I think that's a good win for people, right? For PC owners. But still, oh my God, let it go. Stop dying on the hill, and let's just move on from the streaming stuff, dude.
Yeah, no, agree. We, like you said, we're not there. We all don't have fiber optic cables run into our house, run into the servers. We're not there. And okay, I will give some positives real quick. And by positives, I mean things they should have done and could have justified this but didn't do. So some talking points. How about that? But okay, so here's something. I was just, as you were talking, giving all those main points, I was going through the list. So one of the cool things that I thought Game Pass did was they were always, this was always a thing for them. Kingdom Hearts is now on Xbox, right? The new 3 and stuff. They're like, you know what's on Game Pass? More or less every Kingdom Hearts that came out through you know, like the collections, not you know, the original games, like, you know, Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 remix, all that's on Game Pass.
Time out. Is that on PC also, dude?
I don't know.
Later. We can check later. Sorry.
I don't know.
I just got really excited because you know that I love that game.
Yeah, but I don't know, you know, what the overlap is on. You can get it because I know some are exclusively on. I don't know. Maybe they are. A quick Google, and, you know, and that's smart marketing. Being like, hey, Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. Oh, I always wanted to be Kingdom Hearts, but you know, I don't. They're all on Game Pass. You can catch up. And Xbox, I've seen them consistently do this. Like most of the Final Fantasies on there. But here's the thing. The reason I said there's certain games that, are with the console, I would say Kingdom Hearts is like kind of like, PlayStation was at for, most of its life.
Yeah.
It's not on the service, Kingdom Hearts. Not a single one. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not Remix, not 1.5, not whatever. And I'm like, but that's what I would want to play. That's what I would want to do. Parappa the Rapper, not on there.
That's criminal.
So it's like, Frank, you're asking me to pay this money for someone for someone who was there for the PS1, someone who was there for the PS2, someone's there for the PS3, someone who finally remembers all those late nights, early mornings. I feel like any game that someone want to play who was there. Now, clearly, if you wasn't there, there's kind of all the old games to you. Not saying that's bad, but so you don't. But anything I would want to play is basically not there. So what am I paying you for? And here's another thing. I feel like Sony's pulling the Nintendo in like all the worst ways possible. So people were complaining about Nintendo's when they upped. So Nintendo Online is $20 a month. You get access to the Nintendo library, the original Nintendo library, the Super Nintendo library, and all its online services. And $20 a year. I said a year. It's like, bro, $20 a year? Psh, yeah, take that. Easy. Especially when the competitors is, damn near $70 after tax a year. Easy sell. Nintendo recently upped the price to $50 a year for like their, plus services, and people were losing their mind. And I was like, it's still cheaper than the competitors at the end of the day. And it was like, and people were like, but I feel like I got to pay $30 extra to get access to the N64 games, which to me was like worth it. But at the same time, they're releasing the N64 games in tiers, and I was like, well, I'll wait till it gets a little more in depth, and then I'll get in. It was kind of botched at first, but then Nintendo did something smart. They're like, hey, look, this game's coming out with DLC, Animal Crossing. If you just have the membership, you just get the DLC for free. And then they're like, hey, Mario Kart 8, 48 new tracks. You can buy them in tiers or whatever, or if you just got the $50 tier, which is still way cheaper than competitors, the DLC is free. I was like, I bought it that day. I was like, done deal. The first DLC pack is like, what, $15, $19? I add $10 more. I get everything for free. Plus, I get the extended service. Plus, I get the 64 games. And, they're just going to keep doing this. So, like, the Breath of the Wild 2 DLC, you buy it or you just have the subscription. Assuming Smash was still out, it would have been like buy the fighter pack, or get to it. So it becomes a done deal. It's like, bro, I just get free DLC for all first party games. Yeah, duh. And so I'm like, if PlayStation was like, yeah, they did something like that too, where it's like any DLC for basically first party, second party studio type situation. Oh, hey, that GT Online is $6 a month. If you just subscribe to one of the second or third tier, that's just included. And now we're rolling. Now I'm like, okay.
And they have a partnership, and they have like a history of partnership now with Rockstar and PlayStation. Yeah. So like, how does it? And dude, that is an excellent point. And you know what I love about what you just said, dude?
What's up?
Look, listen, Nintendo's the Apple of gaming. Can we do? I don't know if we agree on that, but they pretty much are.
Yeah.
But they're at least representing their legacy in their service. Like, I can go and I was subscribed to this membership for a while, right? Before the 64 portion came out. And like, I never beat Super Metroid as a kid, but I played it. And I was like, oh, dude, like 30 years later, let me go try it out again. And it's right there. And I can play it. And it runs very well. There's not even PlayStation 3 representation in this new service console merging that they're doing. Like, PS3 is nowhere to be found. And guess who is a poster child for PlayStation nowadays? Nathan Drake, Uncharted. And I'm being like, seriously, I'm not a fan, but that it is what it is. Like, he's literally on the freaking, B-roll intro for like PlayStation Studios games now. And he's not even there. So like, what is the value here? There's some value for sure. There is some, but it's like, this is more of a service for their own wallets than it is for us as consumers and longtime loyal consumers of their products and services. Sorry, y'all. I drank tea this morning and I woke up. This is a sham.
Yeah, and like you said, when Nintendo, they're respecting their legacy because, okay, yeah, it's not every NES game, it's not every SNES game, it's not every 64 game, but it sure is damn near the ones people want to play.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
yeah, there's going to be some outliers. Like, okay, we know legally we won't see a GoldenEye. We kind of accept that. And, we may not see, I'm trying to think of like a good but obscure 64 game. Of course, I can't think of one.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah. Well, that's similar with GoldenEye. But yes, sadly, we won't see Conker's Bad Fur Day or, Diddy Kong Racing. Or is Diddy Kong Racing on there? It might be on there. I'm not sure.
Ooh, oh, no.
But yeah, the point is there's going to be those outliers that won't be there, but your Mario 64 is there, your Kirby's there, your Majora's Mask is there, your Paper Mario's there, your F-Zero's there, your Yoshi Story's there, your Mario Kart's there. Like, they are definitely hitting. If they said we're going to put 25 games, they looked at the metrics and say we will put the top 25 games played on the planet. And and yes, again, you hope that the library keeps expanding and you'll eventually get those titles, or like Japan only releases or something like that. And you're like, all right, cool. But PlayStation's like, hey, we got Dirt 1 through 8. I don't know what Dirt goes up to. And I'm like, cool, bro. That's cool, I guess.
I mean, Dirt's great. Have you not played Dirt? It's like the best racing game ever made.
I've heard that before.
I'm just playing. I've never played one.
You set me up. I tried to be a comedy. Yeah, suck it. I never played Dirt, but
I wonder how much licensing is a factor for this, because like you're right, Kingdom Hearts isn't on there, right? And I wonder if licensing has something to do with it, or maybe just Big Papa Microsoft came out with a bigger wallet.
There's no way, because this is why I feel like it can't be one. All the Kingdom Hearts are also on Switch. Horribly, if you want to have a horrible ass time and play the cloud versions, they're there. So I'm like, okay, they're all on Switch and they're all on Xbox, but all these games, half of those titles originally and were only for PlayStation. So I'm like, what issue could there be? Like, I see no legality being a problem, especially, again, Xbox added all these games to Game Pass. They were never even on Xbox, period.
Yeah.
I don't think Kingdom Hearts 2 ever released on Xbox or any of the HD collections. I'm pretty sure they were all exclusively Sony.
Yeah, well, so 3 came out, and then I think within recent memory, I think one of the collections finally came out on Xbox. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, and so I'm like... And I mean, hell, Ori's on Nintendo too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if these games could be on Nintendo and be on Nintendo horribly, Nintendo, you know what's up.
Yeah.
I don't see any licensing issue, because, bro, if PlayStation was just like, here is there's Infamous on there, and I'm like, that's cool. That I'm happy. But I'm like, there needs to be more. Like, when people talk about PS1, PS2, PS3, any game that people mention fondly should just instantly be on there. Like, we shouldn't live in a world where Parappa's not on there.
100% agreed. I was about to. Well, I'll ask you. So, in your opinion, what does this service need to do? Because here's the thing. I don't think it's gonna ever compete. Like, nothing will compete with Game Pass. I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. That window closed long ago. But that doesn't mean that the service can't stand on its own. So, in your opinion, what needs to happen? What needs to change, or what needs to be added for these 3 tiers of PlayStation Plus services to be solid and worth the money?
One, if the immediate thing you do, you're gonna have to have a price drop. I don't know if you remember, granted, I understand Xbox has more money than Sony as a company. The company being Microsoft.
Right.
And I understand that they can do things like sell every Xbox they ever made at a loss. They can do stuff like the whole Xbox branch of the company is basically in the red for them. And they have enough money to do that. And so I understand that Sony can't just make things, just snap their fingers and go. But if you remember, Xbox Live was like, we're raising our prices, and people threw a shit fit and was like, I just don't have the service. I think initially Sony needs to look and maybe just break even. Wherever the break even price is, maybe start there, because I think the pricing is just horrendous for something that already feels undervalued.
Yep.
And like we talked about with GTA. Let's just say, You only had the 3 versions, so you had to buy a new game. But there's enough value there to justify it, like you said. Someone could spend all that money and be like, I found value in this.
Mm-hmm.
And where it is now is I'm like, I don't necessarily see the value. So, and if you couldn't, let's say knocking down the price was not an option, I would say change the tiers up. So PlayStation, here's how you do it. Do you remember PlayStation Plus used to just be free? You could just play online Sony games for free. You do that. You go back to that. If you want to play online with your friends, crossplay, that's just free. Now the regular way it is, that's where we meet. Like it's PlayStation, it's free online, plus now you get all this, the 2 free games, yada yada yada. And then we go back up to this next tier, and maybe, like you said, it kind of feels weird of where they put things. So maybe shuffle, add some services to the middle tier.
Yeah.
And then maybe add something new. I know they got rid of the movies, right? Like out of PlayStation now. So like there was movies, maybe add movies. So the upper tier needs something. Maybe the upper tier gets day 1 releases. If you go to the upper tier, you will get those same day releases. So I feel like there we go. We have the same price points. Because I feel like making PlayStation playing online free, they lose nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
in a manner of speaking, I mean, it definitely still costs money to do all that, but I mean, I think that would be a great move to have people enter the door to then potentially upgrade down the path.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, because I mean, the PlayStation Plus games they offer, they're usually good. You have way more good months than not good months. You have the occasional dud month where it's like, oh, these games suck. But I feel like there's always at least 1, if not 2 games every month that like I add to my library. I don't download it, but I add to it just in case, whenever that time comes around. So I feel like a reshuffling, and maybe you do take a L at some point, but that's the name of the game.
Right.
Because if you look at your competitors, Xbox is offering a better service at a lesser price point. Nintendo is just at a lesser price point. And Nintendo has, like you said, they have their legacy games. They have what people want to play. At the end of the day, these are games people want to play. We've literally yelled at Nintendo, just do this. And they did it. And I feel like PlayStation now needs to learn that lesson. Just do this. You know what people want. This is not something you need to hire a marketing team. Just go to Twitter and you'll see the games people constantly yell about.
Or just hire Odell Harmon Jr.
Yeah. Or just hire me.
Just do it.
I'll take
like you just said, just do it. Do this.
Yeah, I think that's how you fix it to me.
I think this is, I love that. So we're about to, for the sake of the podcast, disagree. And I think this is going to be great. I not disagree because you make great points. I think this is a case of where less is more. Because when I see this and I see 340 games in the catalog, 400 games in the catalog, for, $15 a month or $18 a month, again, that just seems to me like they're putting a number to make you feel like you're getting a value at it. It's like you're getting a really good deal. Like, oh my God, I got 400 games. Ain't nobody going to play all that. But I think if Sony were to scale that back some and just put only the games that define PlayStation first, that would make a very good impact and a great start. Because look at right now, for anybody who buys a PlayStation 5 and they have a PlayStation Plus service, those PlayStation Plus games, not the ones that you get for free for the month, but the ones you just get free right out the bat, those are bangers. Almost every single one of them, with the exception of Days Gone, which is a good mediocre game. Like it's a good mediocre game, right? It's a solid fun time. But you got Monster Hunter World, Persona 5, God of War, Bloodborne, Until Dawn's. I didn't play it, so I can't comment on that. But like that tailored, that symbolic, and that deliberate selection of games is what really should have gone into this. Because now I feel at this point, it's not that I'm getting quantity for the price, it's I'm getting quality for the price. Right now, when I see 340 and 400 catalog games, I think I'm just getting shovelware, dude. Like, I'm just going to get a whole bunch of blah.
I mean, I agree. Like I said, I listed off at least 5 games that like defined my PlayStation gaming experience, and none of them were there. So I'm out.
Not a single one. And they got the Metal Gear collection, which is great. I'd almost try it out just for that, but streaming, like again, streaming is just to me, streaming is the last nail in the coffin for this, because I never expected this to be a competitor for GameStop. You just can't compete with that. But streaming just does not work yet. It does not work yet.
Yeah, so I mean, ultimately, we'll see. You know, the opinions are out there, and maybe it'll make sense. I don't know. This is, I don't know, man. And you know, if you remember, if you're older than people that if you bought physical stuff, you know, every company used to do it. You know, I forgot what PlayStation called it, but you know, like they call it like their essentials, their classic, whatever. It has a little banner because you know it's one of their top rated. Yeah, greatest hits. There we go. Literally, any title of those are greatest hits, that should have just been instantly on there. Or like you said, less is more. If it wasn't the greatest hit, it's not on the service.
You're and freaking release hardware that can play backwards compatibility games, that can play games from previous generations with disc. I still have a bunch of PS2, PS3 games, etc.
Oh yeah, everybody does, bro. If the next PlayStation 5, like the Slim or whatever, and they were just like, here's the new PlayStation, it's $100 more than the original PS5, but it's backwards compatibility up to PS1, and like, bro,
I'm first in line.
I don't need a Game Pass at that point.
I'll get a job at GameStop again, work my way up to manager, and like take one out the back door.
Yeah, I don't, bro. I'm popping in my PS1 copy of the Rugrats game I got, bro, and I'm beating that boy all over again. And about to see Riptide dance in City Hall.
Like the PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah.
Oh my, dude, you just brought me way back.
Which, if you beat it fully and get the secret ending, you get to play as Riptide and you dance on City Hall.
I want to play Jake. You ever heard of Jake Cocoon?
Yeah.
That I want that one. Champions of Norath, Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance,
bro.
The Legacy of Kain series. Let's go. Come on, guys.
I would stream an entire weekend of playing every demo disc I own.
That would be so freaking cool.
That'd be like the sickest experience ever.
You gotta make a video, like almost like a video edit. Like you order a pizza, you like put your game in an envelope, the demo disc, and you stick it to the pizza box like you just got it back in the day, dude.
Yeah, and well, I think that's enough on PlayStation. And before we wrap up the show, we gotta talk about Nintendo really quick. And so, people, you didn't know, Breath of the Wild 2 is officially delayed until spring 2023. And Frank, I'm just gonna be frank. Ha 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 ha. Is this a confirmation on Switch 2, Switch 4K, Switch Pro, Next Gen, XYZ? Because as you know, the past 2 major Zeldas with Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild released on both the current and old gen, with Twilight Princess being GameCube Wii U, and in which Skyward Sword being Wii U Switch. So do you think this is just a trend? They delayed it. Yes, they're making it better, but it's only because we're about to get whatever the next edition of Switch is.
Let me see something. 2017? Oh, it's been like 5 years since Breath of the Wild came out. Maybe. But you know, that's the thing. Nintendo is going to Nintendo, and they might just use a 5-year-old engine to remake the same exact game, add a little extra story to it, and release it and call it a sequel. They could also do that. But we know the quality will be there. I'm going to go along the side of wishful thinking and say yes, it will release. Actually, isn't March around the same time frame that they announced the Switch originally? February, March?
You know what? I'm just going to say I don't know, because I'm not about to give myself a breadcrumb to nothing. A bread trail. I mean, probably that. I don't know. Spring?
It was unveiled on October 20th, 2016.
And then when did the Switch actually come out?
Ooh, buddy, I just totally botched that typing. Release date. March 3rd, 2017.
Which would put us right before spring 2023.
Hey, man. Anything's possible.
I mean, because I remember telling myself Breath of the Wild 2 might look and run better, because you got to think that, the Breath of the Wild was originally being developed for the Wii U, so you could think of like it being ported but never being made to take advantage of the hardware. we all know Nintendo can really take advantage of their own hardware when they put their mind to it. I mean,
Yeah,
Mario Kart 8
absolutely.
Deluxe looks amazing. It looks like it could easily be a PS5 or Series X game. Don't know how they did that mumbo jumbo, but they did.
Magic, bro.
And it runs at a full clip. Okay, think of all the games of on the Switch that have bad frame rates, bad textures. None of that exists in Mario Kart 8. I really don't know how they did it.
It's like I feel like Nintendo does the same exact thing that YouTube does with ads. You'll be watching a YouTube video, it'll buffer, it won't look as great, but I swear to God, the moment an ad comes on, it runs smoothly and it looks 4K the whole way through. And like Nintendo's like, well, our games are just going to run perfectly and look great. You guys, that's y'all's problem.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that's the story here for me. Like, because I'm like, okay, Zelda gets delayed. I'm like, all right. And also, I'm like, Pokemon's looking real ambitious. Real ambitious. Pokemon 4K Pokemon don't sound too bad. Not gonna lie.
Right. No, and I mean the timing kind of lines up, not just like the release timing and announce timing, but I mean it's 5 years. Like that's you're pushing a console cycle at that, the average console lifespan. So, dude, yeah, I mean, and like I think you tweeted out earlier how like a lot of the major Zelda games have released across at the end of a generation and into the new generation as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I mean, because the Switch, excuse me, the Switch was already kind of old tech when it came out. So now, it's hitting that dinosaur age of like, man, I love you, Switch, but
do something. It's like when you're poking them with the stick like
yeah,
come on.
man. So I'm really hoping, I'm really hoping, I'm just really hoping for a new Switch,
They just need
4K
to
model.
get rid of weapon durability, please, for the love of God. For the love of God, just get rid of it. I'm sorry, Odell. I didn't mean to cut you off. I
No, it's
apologize.
good. It's good. I think they probably will. I didn't mind it as much. Like, so it was kind of like this in the early game. I was kind of like, everything can kill me anyway. I'm not fighting anything. But you do get to a point where it's more of just like, yeah, whatever. Let me pull out my next great sword.
And
I get why they didn't do it, but I feel like the quick fix would have been that if the Master Sword never needed to like re-enlight itself. Like, we've got the Master Sword and it was like, look, it has a base power of 60, but it never fades. Because then that seems fair to me. Okay, like the base power is like middle of the pack, but it never goes away. So I can literally just have this to rest. But now, if case I'm fighting something that's like, ooh, I need like an elemental power or something. These other things that are way more infinitely powered than the Master Sword still has durability. I feel like that would have made everyone happy because it's
it
like, all right,
evens out.
yeah, for everyone who doesn't want to deal with the durability, cool. Use the base power 80. Not too weak, but not overly strong like the 120 weapons. And in case you need something more than that, you have this weapon that will eventually break, or you have elemental powers to, because the Master Sword can't shoot ice and lightning, and then it'll be like, cool. I think that
Yeah.
would have been the easy fix.
I do. That's a great because there's so much work that goes into getting the Master Sword. Like so much work that goes into getting it. You have to get all these hearts. I'm like, oh my God. And then you finally get it. I got so excited when I got it. And I'm like, oh, there's durability on this too to a degree. That broke my heart, dude.
Yeah, like I didn't get that either. Like, or just because it was tied to your hearts, like if you weren't strong enough to wield it, like if your hearts went like below half, like it like then becomes powerful. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I think people probably, but I'm pretty sure Nintendo's usually good about hearing gripes about that, so I'm pretty sure. Well, it could just be gone altogether, or maybe done better. I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you
They,
for humoring my tangent here. I appreciate that.
no problem, no problem. But I mean, I don't. You know, if we if we live in a world that comes to fruition where we get like 4K souped up Switch and we get backwards compatible all the way back to PS1, PS5, that would be the only combo where I feel like that could even dent Xbox current supremacy at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. And the thing is like, I think we're we're very privileged to live in this time and age right now where Xbox is doing its thing, and Sony's still doing theirs, and Nintendo's still doing theirs. Like it's wild to see all these people bickering and fighting in Twitter, and I'm not saying I'm innocent. I may have stoked some flames here and there and called some people out for being silly, but you think about it, dude. Like everyone's, for the most part, everyone's on their A game. Like everybody, in whatever thing they are specializing in, they are killing it, dude. And right now, like, yeah, sure, the pandemic's going on and the delays are happening. And by the way, like Breath of the Wild being delayed, I'm happy to hear it. Just means to me that I know when it comes out and I go buy it, either way, no matter what, you're gonna get a great game.
Oh yeah, Nintendo never snubs the quality in any way, shape, or form.
Like never, ever, 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 dude. And so I'm not even bothered by it, man. It's great. It also makes me feel good because now there's one less awesome game I have to worry about coming out during a holiday season compared to like all the other games that A probably haven't been announced or B are going to be announced shortly. And I'm telling you now, if God of War Ragnarok comes out this year, oof, I don't know what there's Metal Gear Solid 6 will have to come out to make me play something to not get me to play Ragnarok, dude.
Oh yeah, I know people are already giving it to Elden Ring that it can be beat, but there's some sleeper hits. You know what I'm hoping for this year, because like I keep telling people the game release calendar overall looks pretty light. If you look at confirmed release date games as of right now today, there aren't a lot. I mean, like if you were to count, there's maybe like 40 compared to what normally is like 100 something at this point. And I mean, and most of them are not the AAA titles. We got like your Forspokens that's coming out, which honestly could be a flop. We already had our Ghostwire Tokyo, which was just okay-ish. So I mean, yeah, there's things like Pokemon that we know will come out, and things like Rabbids and other games. But in terms of like your heavy all-star hitters, I think we've already passed all of them.
Not to be like not petty. I can't think of the word, but I really do feel that it's going to be very hard to contend with Elden Ring. And it's not because I'm just like a From Software fanboy, but like this is the From Software game that got a lot of people to play that typically wouldn't play that kind of game. And it's just when you get to that river, bro, you'll know.
I'll know. I'll
when
know.
you get to the river, dude, you'll just see like Frank was right.
I will let you know.
I was about to say I expect like a text or a phone call or a DM or something. Just like, Frank, you were right.
I will wrap this up and say that what I'm hoping happens this year, except on a grander scale, is we have a lot of Metroid Dread situations. A game no one expected to be announced, and then coming out like a month or two or three right after announcement. Like, I'm hoping we get a whole bunch of those surprises towards the end of the year. Because, as of right now, there's really not a lot. And I'm not talking about like a Ragnarok, because we know that. I mean, a game like Dread I think was just a phenomenal gaming moment. It was a huge character from a huge series by a huge developer from a series that wasn't technically dead, but we're all thinking about Metroid Prime 4. We're all wondering and we're just like, and there's like new Metroid game. And we're like, oh, cool, 2D, continuing the story. Yeah. Coming out like tomorrow. What? And it's great.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It was Odell. I have never played and beaten a Metroid game until Dread. And now that you say that, Dread was the last game that I felt this strongly about. Now having played Elden Ring now, like I agree. And the other thing too, I'm sorry, Starfield. We need to keep an eye on that.
See
what
what
happens with that.
I think it's gonna be a bust. I'm not really basing off anything. I just feel like when a game has this much hype off a game that we basically know nothing about, other than who's working on it, we've been down this road before. Think of Anthem. Anthem was a game we basically knew nothing about, and we actually had a gameplay trailer for that, and then Anthem came out, and yeah.
That was let's just not talk about Anthem, dude. That was bad.
Yeah, that was. But Frank, thank you for joining me, especially on such short notice on the show that I didn't think I was gonna do. But like I said, I woke up and the news circuit was just like, it just handed me a show, so I appreciate it. Where can people keep up with you, follow you, all that good stuff?
Yes. First off, thanks for having me, Odell. It's always been a pleasure. I enjoy doing these with you, man. So anytime. Ladies and gents, if you're interested in hearing more of my shenanigans and maybe even, content stuff, you can follow me on Twitter at GNR_Frank. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/GNRFrank. And follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/GNR_Frank.
Yeah, yeah. And as always, you can follow the show at FC Podcast 23. Of course, Full Circle Podcast is on every streaming, platform that has podcasts, wherever podcast is found. And if it's not, bro, get with the times. What are you using? You're on like some super foreign, blah blah blah, self-hosted service. No, Frank, I'm serious. Because somebody was like, I can't find your podcast. I'm like, we're on Apple Music, we're on Google Play, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on the podcast service, we're on Stitcher. I'm like, at this point, bro, like, no, I'm not adding it's where it needs to be. We're on Spotify. That's the other one I can think of. I'm like, yeah, it's so at this point, bro, like, if you don't have any of those services and you're listening to podcasts, I don't know what you're doing.
They're probably on SoundCloud.
We're on SoundCloud. That's what hosts the podcast. See, exactly. I don't think anyone listens on SoundCloud, but that's where I upload the original feed. So we're on SoundCloud. Perfect.
There you go.
There
There's no excuse. So, ladies and gents, there is no excuse. It's there for you to take.
Yeah. And, if you feel so inclined, you can follow me at Harmon Jr. on all your favorite social media. As always, have a great week and be blessed. Peace.
Peace.